You know what's funny? Not in a joking way. Not the kind of funny that makes you laugh. The kind of funny that only makes sense after you've been betrayed, abandoned, and forced to rebuild yourself from nothing. The ones who couldn't wait to leave. The ones who started packing their emotional bags long before the storm ever arrived. The ones who looked you straight in the eyes, heard your silence screaming for support, and still decided you weren't worth staying for. Those people, they always come back. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but they come back. And here's the part they never planned for. Here's the detail they completely overlooked while they were busy planning their escape. You won't be there. You won't be standing where they left you. You won't be frozen in time. Well, you won't be waiting like someone whose life stopped the moment they walked out. By the time they return, you'll be unrecognizable. Not because you changed for them. Not because you hardened out of bitterness, but because pain forced evolution. Let that sink in. They left first. That wasn't an accident. That wasn't confusion. That wasn't bad timing. That was a decision, a clear, conscious, calculated choice to walk away when staying required effort. When staying required loyalty. When staying required them to be more than comfortable. They saw everything you gave. Your patience, pull, your energy, your sacrifices, your willingness to fight for something real. And they still said, not enough. Not because it wasn't enough. Because they were. They judged your value using standards that were already broken. People, they held gold in their hands and called it ordinary because they'd never learned how to recognize anything real. And yet, here you are, still breathing, still standing, still pushing forward. People, you thought their departure would destroy you. You really did. These civilized people. You thought the silence they left behind would choke the life out of you. You thought waking up without them would feel like suffocation. Those first nights were brutal. Lying awake, staring at the ceiling, heart racing, chest heavy. Mind refusing to slow down, replaying conversations, rewriting arguments in your head, wondering what you could have said differently, what you could have done better, how you could have been more. You questioned your worth in places it never should have been questioned. But here's what you didn't realize back then. The leaving wasn't your collapse. It was your release. People like them don't understand what it means to stay when staying hurts. They don't understand loyalty when it's inconvenient. Well, they don't understand depth when depth demands accountability. They only know how to run. They run from responsibility. They run from emotional weight. They run from anything that forces them to confront who they really are. And when they ran from you, people, they thought they were escaping pressure. They thought they were chasing freedom. They thought they were upgrading their lives. What they didn't understand, you were the peace, people. You were the stability they took for granted. You were the growth they were too immature to appreciate. You were the calm they'll spend their entire lives searching for in people who never come close. Time has a cruel honesty. It exposes everything. It strips away illusions. It removes masks. It shows people exactly what they lost when they chose comfort over character. And right now, time is working for you. Every day that passes, something inside you changes. You get sharper, more aware, more grounded. Every moment you spend healing instead of chasing closure, well, you're becoming someone they'll never be able to reach again. And that will haunt them. They expected you to fall apart. That was part of their calculation. They imagined you stuck in the same place, waiting, hoping, scrolling through old photos at 3 a.m. They imagined you missing them forever. Because people like them feed on significance. They need to know they mattered. They need to believe they still have power over you. But you did something they never expected. You stopped feeding them. You took your broken pieces, and instead of throwing them at their feet, you picked them up yourself. Quietly, slowly, painfully, you rebuilt in silence. And now you're becoming something dangerous. Not loud, not vengeful, untouchable. Here's something you need to understand. Their return isn't a possibility. It's inevitable, because real things are rare. They'll try to replace you. They'll jump into new connections, new faces, new bodies. They'll repeat the same lines, make the same promises, offer the same shallow affection, but it won't feel the same. Because depth can't be copied, because authenticity can't be replaced. And one day, maybe late at night, maybe during a moment of silence they can't escape, they'll think of you. They'll remember how you showed up without conditions, how you stayed when it hurt, how you loved without calculating what you get back. And regret will hit them hard. That's when the message comes. Hey, it's been a while. I was just thinking about you. Maybe we should talk sometime. Don't be fooled. That's not confidence. That's desperation pretending to be casual. But here's where the story shifts. You won't be waiting. You won't be the same person who begged for clarity. You won't be the one who questioned their worth because someone couldn't see it. You'll be stronger, calmer, clear. You'll understand that their leaving was never about your value. It was about their inability to rise. Waiting means your life paused. Yours didn't. It accelerated. Their absence became the pressure that shaped you. The silence became your discipline. The pain became your teacher. Now you're building again, dreaming again, surrounded by people who respect your presence and them. They're stuck with memories, stuck knowing they once had something real and walked away from it. One day they'll reach out, convinced you've been waiting, convinced there's still space for them. They'll send the message. They'll wait. And wait. They'll wait. They'll stare at their phone longer than they want to admit. They'll reread the message they sent, wondering if they said the wrong thing. These civilized people, they'll tell themselves you're probably busy, probably asleep, probably just haven't seen it yet. But deep down, they'll feel it. That shift, that silence that doesn't feel temporary. Because silence has weight now. And for the first time, they're the ones carrying it. See, they left believing they held all the power. They thought walking away made them strong. They thought you would stay exactly where they abandoned you, paused, frozen, available. They never imagined a world where you continued without them. But you did. And that's what breaks them. Not your anger, not your words, not your explanations, your absence. That's when it hits them. People, they weren't special. They weren't irreplaceable. They weren't the center of your universe. They were just a chapter. And you kept writing. They'll start remembering details they once ignored. The way you listened when no one else did. The way you stayed calm when things fell apart. The way you gave without keeping score. Things they didn't value then suddenly feel priceless now. Regret is funny like that. It doesn't arrive when you want it to. It arrives when it's too late to matter. They'll replay moments where they chose ego over empathy, comfort over commitment, running over responsibility. And every memory will feel heavier now because they finally understand what they walked away from. But understanding doesn't mean access. And that's the lesson life teaches brutally well. They'll try again. Maybe not immediately, maybe weeks later, months, even years. They'll convince themselves enough time has passed. That wounds must have healed. That maybe, just maybe, you'll still be open. They'll dress their return in maturity. I've grown. These see things differently now. I wasn't ready back then. And maybe they're telling the truth. But growth doesn't rewind time. And realization doesn't undo choices. Because while they were finding themselves, you were rebuilding yourself. There's a difference. You didn't just heal, you transformed. You stopped chasing explanations, stopped craving validation, stopped asking why someone couldn't love you properly. You learned something far more powerful. Some people don't lose you because you weren't enough. They lose you because they were incapable. And that understanding changes everything. You no longer crave their return. You no longer fantasize about closure, conversations, people. You no longer imagine what you'd say if they came back. Because peace replaced curiosity. And peace is addictive. They'll notice the change even before you speak. Your energy is different. Your responses are calmer, shorter, detached, not cold, just complete. You don't ask questions anymore. You don't explain yourself. You don't try to be understood. Because you already understand yourself. And that unsettles them. They expected emotion. They expected tension. They expected tears or anger. They didn't expect indifference. Indifference is terrifying to people who once had control. That's when panic sets in. They'll realize they no longer have access to the version of you that needed them. That door is closed, not slammed, not locked with rage, just closed gently, permanently. And here's the part they'll never admit out loud. They don't miss you the way you were. They miss how you made them feel. They miss being chosen without effort. They miss being prioritized without earning it. They miss your loyalty, your patience, your forgiveness. They miss the safety of knowing you'd stay. But that version of you no longer exists. You had to let them die. That version accepted crumbs and called it love. That version waited for effort that never came. That version thought being understanding meant being silent. The new you. The new you has standards. The new you understands timing, understands self-respect, people, understands that love without consistency is just manipulation wearing a mask. And you'll never explain this to them. You don't need to. Your life explains it for you. They'll see it in the way you move, in the way you speak, in the way you no longer orbit around their presence. They'll feel it when they realize you're surrounded by people who value you, not tolerate you. People who show up, not disappear when things get heavy. They'll feel it when they understand you're building something bigger than them. And that realization hurts, because it confirms their biggest fear. They didn't lose you to someone else. They lost you to yourself. And there's no competition with that. They'll wish they could go back to the moment they left. Wish they could choose differently. Wish they could undo the damage. But life doesn't negotiate with regret. You don't get unlimited chances with real people. Some doors close not because of anger, but because reopening them would require shrinking yourself. And you've grown too much for that. So when they finally stand at that emotional doorway, hoping, expecting, or rehearsing apologies, they'll find nothing. No bitterness, no longing, no space. Just absence. And absence will teach them what presence never could. They'll understand then that leaving was easy, but staying would have required courage they didn't have. And you'll be too busy living to notice. Busy building, busy dreaming, busy waking up with direction instead of dread. Busy choosing people who choose you without hesitation. You won't need to block them. You won't need to confront them. You won't need to prove anything. Your evolution is proof enough. They'll return last. Not because you invited them, but because reality always circles back to truth. And when they do, you won't be waiting. Not because you're heartless, but because you finally learned something priceless. Waiting for people who left teaches they can always come back. Choosing yourself teaches them they lost something real. And that lesson, that's irreversible. So let them remember you. Let them regret. Let them wonder what could have been. You're not responsible for their healing. You're not obligated to reopen doors they closed. You did the hardest thing a person can do. You stayed for yourself. You didn't collapse. You didn't beg people. You didn't chase ghosts. You rebuilt. And now you stand somewhere they can't reach, not because you ran faster, but because you stopped waiting. They left first. They'll return last. But by then you've already won. Not by revenge, not by proving anything, but by becoming whole. By choosing peace over attachment, growth over familiarity, self-respect over longing. You didn't just survive their absence. You transcended it. And that's the kind of power no one can take from you. Ever.